So I went to India, and I remember India was another life. You know how you say you thought you've done all the sites until you realize you've stayed in India for almost a month with my friends. We didn't know where to get meat from. So we decided, let's ask these guys where we can buy some meat to eat, because we were feeling like we had the thirst of meat. Or rather, we were craving for meat. So we took this rickshawala. Rickshawala was a three-seater. Back seat and the bicycle. It's like a tricycle. So you sit at the back, and then this guy cycles you to where you're going. So the guy told us, he understood what we told him because we were together with him. But he got us to this town and told us, go down that road, because now the rickshawala could not get there. He parked on the side and said, just walk down that slum, you will see a place where they slaughter buffaloes. So buffalo meat, that's what we're eating. So we walked down there, and as we're walking there, I meet these guys, they're all touching my hand, they're asking me, what are you doing in this slum? And so I stopped one person and asked him, can you please tell me where I can get meat to eat? And this guy took off because he thought I'm telling him I want to slaughter you and eat you. But I was trying to look for a sign language. They tell the guy, can I get somewhere I can
get meat
which is where they slaughter meat to eat. So this guy took off. He said, hey Kalu, this black guy is trying, he wants to ask me where they can catch me and eat me. So it was chaos in this slum. So all of a sudden there was a few sane guys there who calmed down everything. And that's what I was telling. Those are the challenges we had when we were growing up. And for me, when I look at you guys, it's just different lives that you've brought up with. But what is most important is for you guys, how do you adjust with the life you find yourself in? Like now that you're both of the same age, you're now in this life, where you are brought up, where you came from, what are your challenges, are meant to grow you, but not to live in them. And that's why I always tell young people what you guys need to do to avoid mental stress, because that's why we're talking about mental health. A lot of mental health issues are coming from, one, you look at your background and you feel jealous about the other person's background. So you want to live his life and you think his life was this life that you see on the TV, on the social media. Likewise, he gets into a challenge and he has to live your life. And he feels, because now I'm moved from where I was living in Nairobi, I'm now living in a slummy area. Maybe he moves to a slummy area he can't afford, he's in a one-bedroom house, and he has to wash dishes outside the door. He has never seen that happen. He gets stressed because you feel like life is coming to an end. But all I can ask you guys to do, and many young people, whatever situation you find yourself, adjust in it. Stay calm, the storm will pass. There's never a storm that takes forever, as long as you stay focused. Where storms stay over us is because we always shake in the storm. And once you shake in the storm, it continues shaking. But if you can stay calm, stay focused, and let God be, you will get out of that storm. But when you get out of that storm, it's how you get out of it. Because I always tell people, it's not how you started, it's how you finish. And that's where you find a lot of things that equalize a lot of us is university. When you come from university with different backgrounds, you come, you're given the same education, but it's how serious you put your mind into your education, how serious you put your mind into your social life, that makes a difference for you. But if you don't mix social and education, then you come out here as an A student, but you'll always work for the C's and the D's, because them socially, they're outgoing, so they're able to start the companies, but you A's and B's end up working for these guys. And then it goes back again, you get again depressed and start saying, God, you are not fair with us. You brought me this, I've worked so hard, and it looks like I was not fair. I grew up in a bad family with all these problems. Now I'm here, I'm working for this guy who seems like he had all good, but he didn't have all good. It's just that he stayed focused and he was able to look at his social and education to make his life.
Now, just to ask a question out of curiosity, simply because the way you talked, because that one dictates or even tells us that is an epitome of wisdom. Depending on how you used to live, what was your heart of survival as compared to us right now?
Okay, our heart of survival is, one, we didn't have social media. So we never had anyone. We were only competing with your neighbors, your relatives, and your immediate friends. So our competition line was just a group of 5-10 people you could compete or ever think of competing. Social media today, you're competing with thousands and millions of people. Anytime you go to Instagram, you see life of people who are faking, others are real, others are on the movie, and you're trying to live that life. And as you're trying to live that life, of course you'll get confused about who you're competing or who your target is. So that is what now confuses a lot of young people. And social media came as a good thing because it made the the world open for us.
Small village.
But in that small village came a lot of confusion because there are people who live two lives. There are those when you see them on Instagram, they are living a different life. Those who, when you see them on TikTok, a different life, but their real life is totally different. And that's why you're seeing today even stories of young girls, young boys, who have shown very good, glamorous lives on social media. But when they are going to their in closet, they commit suicide. They are depressed. So sometimes some of these things are just a hit back. And also secondly, a lot of things I tell people, when you look at a movie, you see Tupac with golden teeth and all that. He's doing it for the movie. He's selling a song.
Showbiz.
So it's showbiz. But you're trying to live showbiz, even in your real life, you can't. You'll get stressed.
You want to walk around with
Yeah,
cigars.
you want to walk
many
around with
babes.
cigars, a lot of guns and girls around you. But that is not, that is for the movies. That's for showbiz.
Yeah.
And so sometimes it's good to balance and understand, what do I want to pick from this? What should I not pick? What should I move on with this? And that's why there's so much things happening. There's also all these things about homosexuality. There's all that coming around this world. The world is becoming wilder and wilder for the things we see and what we copy from abroad.
So just to take you a little bit back, in our previous conversation we were discussing about most of these celebrities nowadays that are trending. They contribute to almost 90% of young men getting into mental illness because of their lifestyle and something like that. Maybe according to you, what is your perspective on that?
It's the same thing I was telling you. These guys are paid to do showbiz. It's the same thing as watching a movie. And that's why they say some of these movies like wrestling, where they tell you don't try this at home.
Yeah.
Because those guys are acting. So you go and try it at home, you break your lips, you break your neck. So even me, I would like, even from you, for you, I would like to say, on the social media, when you see these artists doing what they're doing, don't try this at home. Let them live their artist's life, you live your own educational life. And if you want to become an artist, then copy them, then you're on the right track. But don't live both lives because it's very hard.
You know, pressure is everywhere.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But you see, that's why I told you. I told you, pressure is not the problem. It's how you shake in that storm. If you give yourself pressure and you shake in that storm, the storm will keep taking you.
Because
You have to be calm in that storm for you to get out of it. Because pressure is there. Even ourselves, we used to have pressure. We had a lot of peer pressure in the absence of social media. But for us, it was different. We had very strict parents. And now is when I'm seeing the social fabric is also changing. We have more single parents than our time because of also culture and change of lifestyles. Our time we had strict parents, and we can't call it complete parents. We can't call it a complete home, but we had a two-parent home as opposed to one parent nowadays. So a lot of one-parent homes, and when you mix, and that's what I tell people, even in social settings, even your best of friends, if you sat around them and ask them, so where does your dad work? You say, I've never met my dad. And I live with my mom. You could be the only complete set of parents living with you. What they instill into you as a culture will be outrode by those guys who you hang around with, who have those single parents. So it's just a way of balancing. And you have to understand peer pressure is there, but understand what pressure you want to carry. Because you can't carry all pressure.